homecoming weekend here in Mason, Ohio. We welcome you back into Dwire Field for the start of one of the biggest games in Mason football over the past couple years. I'm Daniel Panetti, joined alongside Trevor Rhodes for today's broadcast. Trevor, the Comets welcoming in the Princeton Vikings on their own homecoming game. It's sure to be a good one.
Always a good one when these teams match off, especially with how hot these two teams have been. Comets riding a 3-game winning streak and the Vikings riding a 4-game winning streak after their loss to Moeller week 1.
Princeton won the toss. They elected to defer. The Comets will start out with the ball. The kickoff's away. Kelling retrieves it right outside the end zone. Zingy left tries to cut back up the middle, and he's brought down before he gets to the 15. There's a nice stop there from the Princeton Viking defensive special teams. And now, Trevor, we'll see the Comet offense for the first time today.
Comet offense led by the senior quarterback, D'Angelo Birch. So far on this campaign, he's 39 for 77, 438 yards in the air. He has 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. But the biggest story was his legs on the ground. 97 carries, 457 yards, 7 touchdowns.
And that 457, good for third in the GMC. These two teams, the two best on the ground in the conference. 1st and 10. Not the best field position for the Comets. Start out with Birch in the shotgun. He'll hand it off to Birdsong up the middle. Birdsong breaking through, and he's met Andrew Wells, number 8. The senior strong safety meets him there. Gain of a couple there for Birdsong. It'll make it 2nd down.
Great push up front there by the Comets' front offensive line. And expect a lot of big openings happening from this Comet offensive line. They have been phenomenal so far this season, besides the first game against Springboro.
And Wells is going to be one of those big guys for this Princeton defense. Guy who's a 4-year starter with this Vikings team. 2nd down. It'll be another handoff. Birdsong going through. And he'll be stopped right around the 20. Is a nice another stop for the Princeton run defense. That makes it 3rd down.
You can obviously see what the Comets are looking for tonight, and that is just to pound the ball on the ground. 2 straight run plays to start it.
So it'll be 3rd and 4 for the Comets. A double receiver look on both sides as Birch comes back into the backfield. The lone man in the back with him, Tristan Newhouse at tight end. Birch, he'll run it toward the right side. And he's not, he might be close, but
I don't think he got it.
It doesn't look like he got it. It'll make it 4th down for the Comets. Already looking to force a 3 and out. We'll see. It looks like the Comets could potentially be keeping the offense out. And they'll take him off.
It would have been real ballsy there by Coach Kastner to keep his offense there on the field. I don't know if they could really attempt to go for it right there. I mean, in negative territory, turn the ball over on downs there in Princeton's offense. Only 20 yards before they'll go and score.
So 4th down. See, there will be an injured player for the Comets. But, Trevor, we look at that drive for the Comets. 3 plays, 3 runs. And they're not able to move to 6. That's really the recipe that the Comets have been trying to run this year, is get that ground game moving, but you're going up against the Princeton defense that's only allowing 45 yards on the ground per game.
I mean, again, it's going to be which defense will shut down which offense first. We mentioned it at the top of the ICRC show that it's going to be pretty much which defense is going to negate the rushing, and then which offense is going to have to start relying on the passing. Both passing offenses have not been great for both teams. The Comets being slightly better than the Vikings, but we highlight the rushing defense is going to be the biggest factor.
So 4th and 1, the Comets in punt formation. They ran a fake versus Hamilton last week, excuse me. Birch looking, he will punt it away. And it's going to be returned to the right side, trying to get some speed out. He has some movement out right, out past the 35.
And some laundry on the field. It looks like a holding on Princeton.
So Wells on the return.
And they were going right after their former quarterback there, Birch. When he punted the ball, he got thrown down almost immediately on a holding penalty by Princeton. A decent return, without the penalty.
We'll see what the field position will start for them. It was a very solid return getting into common territory, but with the laundry, we'll see what the placement's going to be. It'll be the first time that we see the Princeton offense today as a common defense who's been on and off this year. You know, a team that held the Hamilton Big Blue scoreless in the fourth quarter last week at Hamilton on their homecoming night to complete the big 21-point comeback.
Well, the biggest thing to talk about with this Princeton offense, they're without their star quarterback, Loris Barnes, 446 yards in the air, 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Without him, and it looks like in place of him will be the senior, one of the best players on the field, Zion Neal.
Yeah, Zion Neal, one of the best players on this Princeton team, but overall one of the best players in the GMC Conference. A guy who was at Lakota East last year. He actually had his worst game of the season versus the Mason Comets. They held him to just 1 reception for 6 yards and 2 carries for 13. So you're the Comets. You know that number 1, Zion Neal, is going to be the big focal point of this Princeton offense. If you can keep him in check, it can be a big day for this Comet defense, and Trevor, do they need it?
Absolutely.
It'll be a fake, and there's some
start.
So it will be a false start before the play is able to go off.
And another thing to mention, Daniel, something that we didn't really mention, Landon Meary, the wide receiver for this Princeton team, committed to Arizona State University as a tight end. He's 6'6", has great hands, 21 catches, 240 yards, and 6 touchdowns. If Princeton's going to want to have a big game, they have to rely on number 9.
Yeah, number 9, Myrie. He's been one of the best tight ends or just receivers overall in the GMC Conference in his couple games this year. Like you mentioned, Arizona State commit. So Neal will look to throw. Flushed out right, he might run this himself. He will pass the 35, now reverts back up the middle of the field. And he's going to be brought down. Nice open field tackle there. Cam Simmons, number 19.
That'll be Simmons' 10th tackle of the year.
And that's a big tackle there to start off. You get one of the most shiftiest guys in the GMC Conference in Neal immediately. Well, not immediately, but once he breaks back into the middle of the field to that one-on-one area, and you're able to bring him down. No, not much of a gain there. It'll be 2nd and 7 for this Viking offense. Neal in the backfield with a running back on both sides. It'll be a handoff to Hambrick up the middle, and David Hambrick's loose up the middle of the field. Touchdown, Vikings.
Yeah, and expect a lot of that tonight. They looked like they were going to wind up that triple option, and they just handed the ball off to Hambrick right up the middle, and he just went the distance, splitting the Comet defensive front.
Hambrick, the senior running back, number 7, who only had 35 yards against the Comets last year, takes his first carry all the way to the house. And Trevor, that's a big tone setter for the Princeton Vikings here early. It takes one handoff to their running back, and he's able to bring it through. 2 years ago, actually, Hambrick, he didn't get into the end zone on the ground, but he was able to throw when they ran a trick play. And Hambrick showed off his arm to get into the end zone. That time he does it with his legs. Extra point up.
He missed it.
It's no good. That's the 4th miss of the year from Nate Messer, number 47. The 5th miss, excuse me. He came into today 17 for 21 on the year. It's not been a strong spot for the Vikings so far this year. It's the kicking. But it's a very quick drive for the Vikings. The Comets are going to have to respond.
Absolutely, and expect more runs. I would not steer away from the run, even though you went 3 and out last drive on going 3 straight runs. But don't steer away from it, and then defensively, the Comets are able to, if they're able to change up how they were looking, it should be heavy more on run defense, and then have someone spying on Zion Neal the whole night. That could be the biggest examples of how to fix what happened there, and then you have your other guys filling in on Hambrick and then the other players that may get the ball. But the Comet offense coming out, see how they can do.
The Comets are going to need a response. It'll be the second kickoff already for the Princeton Vikings. Kelling returned the first one, wasn't even able to get to his 15. That one goes out throughout the back of the end zone. It'll be a touchback. The Comet offense will come on for the second time tonight. Trevor, we look at that first drive. It was 3 runs, a couple nice handoffs to Brandon Birdsong, but a third down run for D'Angelo Birch. He was just a yard short of the first down. They might have to be switching something up. We might be seeing the ball go in the air this drive.
Potentially we will see that. Birch hasn't been all too bad in the air. Just don't prefer it when you have a run defense, run offense, apologies, as good as this one.
Yeah, Birch had his best game throughout the air versus Oak Hills a couple weeks ago. Threw for over 200 in that game, but last week just 7 for 9 and around 40 yards. Be a screen to the right side. It's caught by Torian Wiggins, and he's met right at around the 23 or the 24. That'll make it second down for the Comets. This is the first time we kind of see the ball go in the air. The Comets, they like running those screens to Wiggins.
Absolutely. It's whatever you can do to get your best player the ball. Wiggins, one of the most explosive players for this Comet offense after the absence now of Jamian Martin for what could be a long, long time this season with a collarbone injury.
Jesse Proctor, one of the defenders there in on the tackle. Proctor actually used to go to Mason, then transferred over with D'Angelo Birch. It'll be a play action. Birch rolling out left, still looking to throw. He'll fire for Tristan Newhouse. It's caught at the 40. He'll get down to the 38, actually. It's a first down, the first forward pass for the Comets today, and the tight end Newhouse gets himself involved.
Great job there by Newhouse to get open, and a great throw by Birch. Able to flip his hips. He was rotating the wrong way, rotating away from his arm side. Able to flip his hips and get that throw to Newhouse very accurately. And Newhouse last week had himself a receiving touchdown. Hopefully he can get another one here tonight.
It's the biggest play offensively for the Comets so far today. Something they needed, getting themselves closer to midfield, right around the 39. And Trevor, we talk about Tristan Newhouse, a guy who was slow starting out the season. He didn't really get any targets, but in these past couple of weeks, he's been playing a lot more of a role. Birch, he's going to fire it deep down the field, looking for Hubbard, and incomplete.
Man, you see that a lot from this Comet offense, trying to test Chris Hubbard deep, and they just have not been able to get the junior going. One of the tallest receivers in this receiving room for the Comets, listed about 6'2".
And that was Corey Bonner Jr., number 12, the senior in there. Guy who already has 7 pass defenses on the year so far. So the absence of Jamian Martin can kind of really get in the way for the Comets offensively today. You want to see a big game from your receiver, Chris Martin, who can, hopefully get those one-on-one shots.
Yeah, false start.
So that'll make the second down a little bit farther. And that was Newhouse there on the right side, jumping too quick. Those penalties, that's something that you're going to have to keep a lot in check a lot today, Trevor. The Princeton Vikings, they're not going to let you be getting away with giving them free yardage.
Absolutely not.
5 wide look for Mason, 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. A lot of the times the Comets do this, it's usually a direct run with Birch. The will drop back. Pocket collapses. He runs it himself towards the left side, and he slides at around the 43, avoiding contact. A nice run there on second and long for the Comets, makes it third and a little more manageable.
Hey, great job by Birch. Feels the pocket collapse on the heavy pressure and then takes off. He probably could have broken that a little bit more inside, but like you said, he would have had some contact. Great job there by Birch to slide down and not take any unnecessary hits. Obviously, the Vikings going to be out for a little anger for the quarterback.
That'll make it 3rd and 6. Birch alone in the shotgun. Looking right side, it's caught over the middle by Alex Brown. He won't get the first down. Maybe 1 or looks like 2 yards short is where they'll mark him. Alex Brown, the starting linebacker for the Comet defense, who's always just been that defensive guy. He's been getting a lot going for him offensively.
The captain, Alex Brown. That one, kind of a tight end screen, but the offensive line unable to get upfield to get some blocking for Alex Brown. Kind of a tight end mid-screen is what you would call it.
4th and 2, ball at the 48. The Comets are keeping the offense on the field. You want to see the aggressiveness from Coach Kastner And Coach Attila of this Comet offense early. So the clock now dips just below 6 minutes here in the first. It was one big run from the Princeton Vikings that already gave him the goal.
The timeout, and Birch does not look happy at the timeout call. He kind of wanted to go for it there. Got the delay game.
I think I'm on Birch's side on that. You know, you're going to have those risky plays if you're going to beat a team like the Princeton Vikings today, but looks like they're going to try and put some trust in their defense. And you get a good punt here. You can pin them back, make Princeton really have a drive. Birch, he'll punt it away. And it's returned. Before he gets to the 20, Darren Knott's unable to make the tackle. Kelling can't bring him down either. And finally, right at past the 25, the Comets are able to get him down.
I mean, the Comets had him dead to rights at the 18, unable to make the tackle. It looked like the first one there was number 5, Darren Knott. Unable to bring him down. Man, he's had a rough year so far.
Yeah, that was Wells there on that return. Patrick Fleming, the senior linebacker, number 3, was able to finally bring him down after evading a couple tacklers.
Looks like a penalty marker.
There is a flag down.
It'll be illegal block in the back on the Vikings, so that return will push him back to where he caught the ball, pretty much, at the 18.
Yeah, so now you're the Comet defense, and well, you're the Princeton offense as well. You get a lot better field positioning defensively than you had to go through on that first drive. And then you let up that big play. Now's a chance. You still got to keep Zion Neal in check. But you want to see the Comets really bounce back here defensively.
Absolutely. And it wasn't really that Neal burnt them that last drive. It was mostly that big handoff to Hambrick.
And David Hambrick, who came into today just a little over 220 rushing yards, had 113 yards versus West, but almost all of that came off of an 80-yard rushing touchdown in that giant upset at Lakota when they took down the Firebirds 27-10. And that one, Trevor, that was one of the biggest shocks in the GMC world here early in the season. Yeah. Dakota West, you know, you talk about them, lost to Fairfield as well, and they got a big test in Middletown tonight. That'll make it 1st and 10 inside the 20. Be a handoff. Simmons able to bring him down just at around the 17.
Comet defensive line not really getting any good breaks off of the tackle we saw last week. John Hendricks, who Brian O was also in the backfield right there, but John Hendricks last week probably had his best week so far this season. He was in the backfield every single play. Andre Bailey, the Hamilton running back, was having trouble getting away from the big guy, and he was abusing that Hamilton offensive line.
Yeah, and you got to mention the other reason it was one of his best games. He found himself in the end zone. You know, you were on the call for that one. Hendricks, the only fumble return for a touchdown of any player in the GMC this year. 2nd and 4. The ball gets away. The ball's on the ground. The Comets say they have it.
They do. Here comes Big John.
Waiting on the official call. The Comets very sure that they have it.
No, it stays with Princeton. Oh, my God.
The Comets were sure that they had it. Here's another look. Neal can't get it away with Hambrick. And it looks like Neal just found his way onto the ball. A huge break for the Viking offense there. That's what comes with that inexperience at the quarterback position. Zion Neal making his first true start, the varsity with Princeton at quarterback. So you try that read option. He collides with Hambrick and almost a big turnover. The Comets needed that instead. It's going to make it 3rd down.
Spread out the offense.
3rd and 8. Neal looking. Kaler with pressure. Fires over the middle. It's intercepted by Emerson Bikey. The Comets get the turnover after the fumble. Bikey's 2nd interception of the season. And the Comets will have big field positioning, bringing the offense back out.
Yeah, and that one was read by Emerson Bikey perfectly. Right out of the hand of Neal. The pressure coming by the Comet defensive line, and he jumps the route from number 14. It was Caleb Miller the pass that was intended to him, also a former Mason Comet, jumps the route, gets the interception, and great field position for the Comet offense.
Now here's a chance where you got to at least get some points out of this if you're the Comets. You get a big turnover. You almost had the turnover the play beforehand, but now we'll see the Comet offense back out. D'Lo, Birch, and this offense out for their third drive of the game. Wiggins will come in motion. Birch will keep it himself. Cuts back inside, out to around the 16. There's a nice gain. It'll make it 2nd and medium. The Comets slowly starting to knock on the door.
Man, I love what D'Angelo Birch is doing with his legs. Not only is he getting great gains, but he's staying up and he's still powering through a huge defensive wall that Princeton has. Princeton's interior guys are huge.
And D'Lo Birch, just a warrior there at the helm. Something the Comets have been missing. Be a handoff. Birdsong up the middle, just charges through. Short gain there on 2nd. That makes it 3rd down. We talk about Brandon Birdsong, a guy who got a bit of varsity time last year. He was sitting behind Temi Adesanya for the whole year, but since being thrusted into that starting role here in his junior season, he's been one of the best Comet players offensively. Leads the team receiving and having a nice year on the ground too. 3rd and 2. Birch, he'll keep it. It looks like he'll get the 1st down. They're on the QB draw. Nice.
Yeah, great job. Great pulling around, number 73. Looked like it was Xander Jarby pulling around. Didn't really find anybody, but then the edge, the tight end pull, taking out the end guy. Just great setup there by the Comets. They run a lot of these quarterback counters and a lot of halfback counters. Just overall counter-heavy team.
So 1st and goal after the run from Birch. It'll be a handoff. Wiggins, right side, tries to break through a couple. It was a nice juke there. He gets to around the 5. Looks like where they might spot him. There's a nice gain there. Torian Wiggins getting himself involved here offensively here early in the 1st.
You see, it was the fake handoff to Birdsong, and then it was the handoff to Wiggins. They do that a lot, and they used to do that a lot more with Jamie and Martin, one of the fastest kids at Mason High School. Torian Wiggins, close 2nd there behind Martin, and expect a lot more of that for the remainder of this season.
And Torian Wiggins really has that big play potential. We saw it versus Oak Hills. He had a huge reception, biggest of the Comet year. Birch, play action, looking to throw, fires right side for Birdsong! He's in! Touchdown, Mason Comets!
D'Angelo Birch, Brandon Birdsong, another connection between the two, and the leading receiver for the Comet team. He's also a phenomenal running back at that.
It's his 2nd touchdown on the year receiving, and the Comets are an extra point away from taking the lead here late in the 1st quarter. We just mentioned Brandon Birdsong having a huge year offensively, and then he finds himself in the end zone. Max Gogol on for the extra point. He hasn't missed so far this season. Extra point up, and it is good. The Comets, a 7-6 lead here with just a little around 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the 1st quarter. The Comets take advantage of the turnover. They find themselves in the end zone.
Absolutely, and that's what you got to do. You got to capitalize on those turnovers that you get. An absolute gift given to the Comets. That ball was thrown right at Emerson Bikey, and the Comets were able to capitalize on that. Almost, and not to mention, almost in there to block the kick. Number 21, Gianni Simmons, the junior for Princeton. Real close on that one.
The Comets, they're going to have to look out for that. The special teams for the Princeton Vikings might be the best in the GMC. It might be one of the best in this area outside of the conference as well. They blocked 2 kicks versus the Lakota West Firebirds. And right there, they almost were able to block a kick there. So that's something that might be coming in very crucial the rest of this game, Trevor. Special teams, they can be forgotten, but they can really win you ball games.
Just beautiful there, Birch. Little flip over to Birdsong.
So the Comets, they do what they did not have at all versus the Vikings last year. and that's hold a lead. They already matched the points that they put up at the Viking house last season. And on homecoming night, Trevor, these stands are crowded. You probably can't find a seat right now. The Black Hole being extra loud, trying to get a big win today. Here's a return up the middle. Still breaking free route to around the 35. That's where the drive for the Princeton Vikings will begin.
And the Comets, so far, they have not been great tackling-wise, and it's taken the third, fourth, fifth guy to arrive to the ball carrier before he is actually taken down. They keep tackling high, a little too high. They need to start going a little lower around the hips, knees area to bring them down.
So the Viking offense will come back out for another drive. Last time it was sloppy. It was extremely sloppy for this Viking offense that resulted in a turnover. The play before, it was a fumble dropped by Zion Neal that he was just barely able to get, and then it was an interception from Emerson Bikey. First down. It'll be a handoff up the middle, and the Comet defense is there. John Hendricks.
John Hendricks. Another tackle for loss for the fella this season. Third tackle for loss. You see him absolutely abusing this Princeton offensive line.
I mean, that's just an incredible job there from an experienced guy who was first-team All-GMC last year. He just took over the left guard, Jaden Freeman, number 58 there on the line. A guy who's almost at that right around that 300-pound mark, a big boy there on the front seven. And he's been having some huge plays for this Comet defense. Second and about 12 for the Vikings.
He got it again.
He's going way backwards. Big John Hendricks making plays in the backfield. And now it's third and long for the Vikings.
Are you not entertained with the big fella? Going through and, again, having his way with this offensive line. We saw it all of last week, having his way with the offensive line and getting through and causing mayhem in that backfield. Expect a lot more of that, not only from Big John Hendricks. You also have Juan Bates, Brian O, and then A.J. Kaler on the far end.
They might be taking this all the way down to the end of the quarter. We talked with John Hendricks, earlier this week, and he just said he knows how important this game is. The team knows how important this game is. And right around the end of the first quarter, we'll see if they get one more playoff. But it will hit the zeros after one. The Comets holding their own grass here at Dwire Field, a 7-6 lead. We'll head to a quick break here. Stay tuned for more here at Dwire.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
All right, I'm in the house.
Okay, what do you see?
Nothing yet. Hold on. I think I just heard something. I'm heading upstairs.
Okay, I am almost there.
I'm in the bedroom.
Okay.
Oh, shit. It's not here.
What?
The gun's not here.
What do you mean? Where is it?
Cameron, are you in there? Open the door. Cam! Come on, Cameron.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never.
The second quarter here on the Mason Comet homecoming night. It was a big turnover for the Comets, which got them the ball and eventually to a score. Third and long, the Comets are able to make a stand, and that forces fourth down. It'll bring on the punting unit. Trevor, so far it's been great football from the Mason Comets.
Absolutely, and the Comets now have all momentum. They scored that touchdown after the interception that Neal threw to Emerson Bikey, and then they scored the touchdown, and then two huge plays by Big John Hendricks, pushing them all the way back. And then we saw the triple option in effect for Princeton there.
Messer will come back on for Another punt, his first of the day. Already a missed PAT for him. He gets that away. Jake Kelling on the return. It fumbles a little bit, and he's able to pick it up. He gets to around the 40, trying to break in, and the Viking special teams able to meet him there right around the 41. The Comet offense will come back out. Trevor, this Comet offense, the first drive, it was a 3-and-out. Wasn't pretty. Second drive, they make a bit of a drive, and since then they've been looking very solid.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what has really changed is they have developed the passing game a little bit more. The first drive, they went 3-and-out on 3 straight run plays, and they were a yard away from getting a first down there on the 3 straight runs. And then the second drive, they come out and they interpret the pass a little bit more. And then on that final drive just now, when they scored their touchdown, a little flip to Brandon Birdsong for a touchdown.
So 1st and 10, ball right around the Comet 40. This receiver out on both sides. It'll be a handoff to the right side. Gets right around back to the line of scrimmage.
You know who that is? That's number 13.
That's Jason Lewis. Or, excuse me, that's Alex Noggle right there in the backfield. The guy who was the backup quarterback for the Comet team so far this year. And last week versus Hamilton, he got himself in the backfield, and he made the most of it. John Hendricks, he said this is a guy who is going to be making such an impact the rest of the season.
Only being a sophomore, you still got 2 more years of this guy.
Thomas just trying to find a spot for him. Play action. Birch with plenty of time. He's going to fire it deep down the left side of the field.
And they draw the flag.
Incomplete.
They draw the flag. It's pass interference. He hit them way early. Yeah, he hit him a little bit too early. I mean, he's the safety up top. He saw what Birch saw. He was wide open. If he does not hit him, that's a huge gain for this Comet offense, and they're discussing on if it should be a pass interference or not.
He's looking for Hubbard down on the left side. And it is going to be pass interference on the Vikings, so the Comets gifted a first down. That's a bad penalty for the Vikings. So far, Trevor, there's been a couple going against Princeton. They're not playing the most clean football.
No, absolutely not. And you've seen games like that where the team does not have the cleanest game, and that costs them. Earlier this season, when we went to Lakota West and played this game, against Lakota West, they had so many penalties in that first half that it was all Mason in that first half because of how many penalties there were. And then you look, and then the rest of the game, they cleaned up their act, and then they ended up getting the win.
So first down, the Comets in Princeton territory. Birch rolling out right, now falls all the way back. He's back out his own 40, and he just flips it down. Incomplete. Would have been a big loss. Instead, it'll just be an incomplete pass. It'll make it second down.
Nope, they're calling the intentional grounding, even though Alex Brown was right there in the territory. That should have been that should be an incomplete pass. That should not be an intentional grounding because Alex Brown was in the area. You look at it, you can see when Birch throws, he's throwing it. Alex Brown is right about there when that ball is thrown.
So the Comets get the PI, and a play later, an intentional grounding call will send them back after getting a lot of free yards.
And that puts them right where the play occurred, and they lose the down. That is a long penalty. That is almost a 20-yard penalty. You don't even see pass interferences go that long either.
So second and a country mile for this Comet offense. Out behind their own 40-yard line. Birch, he'll keep it himself. Gets through that C gap to the right side, still on his feet. Out to the 49. And there's a nice run there on second, but it'll stay third and long.
Yeah, that shouldn't have been as long as a penalty, and that would set the Comets up for third and manageable. But now it's about third and close to 20. It was second and 37 on that play.
And as we go deeper into this game, where every point starts to get more and more important, the Comets have the kicker, Max Gogol, who has one of the strongest legs in the GMC. So you can be a little flexible with your field goal positioning, but they're going to have to get a big gain. Nagel, nowhere going there for the sophomore running back. He's back all the way to around his 45, and there's a late flag come out.
I don't know if the Comets fans should be really celebrating that one. I think it's going to be a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on number 1, Alex Brown. He came in and hit a person way, way late, unless he was pushed into it. Here's the hit. He got pushed into it. Yeah, that's going to be 15. That's going to be 15 on Princeton.
Well, we'll wait for the official call. The Comets sideline starting to erupt, and it is going to be a flag on the Vikings. A drive that has been spoiled with lemons on the field. And Trevor, the Comets might have a free first down.
I don't know if it will be a free one, but it will be 4th down, a 15-yard penalty, obviously, because it's a dead ball foul. They won't get the down back. Kastner was not happy when they were told that. They're keeping the offense out.
So it will not be a free first down. It will be 4th down and about 6 for the Comets. Here just around 9 minutes, 30 seconds left to go. And the Comets, they're lining up as if they're going for this one. 2 receivers out on both sides to D'Angelo Birch. Newhouse in the backfield with him. 4th down. Has some time, and he's going to go down.
They blew it dead.
They did blow it dead beforehand.
That should be a penalty. That should be a penalty for a late hit. I understand they called it dead for the false start, but he was tackled after many whistles were blew, and then they still tackled the senior quarterback Birch.
It was 18 on 18. Terrence Jones, the junior, one of the best front 7 guys for this Viking defense, who was in there to get Birch after the whistle was blown, but that'll make it 4th down once again. The Comets do have the punting unit on. Birch will punt it away. Birch has had a solid year punting so far this year. He's put them back inside the 26 times already this season. It'll be a fair catch at the 10, so the Viking offense will come back out. Trevor, this Viking offense, outside of one big play to David Hambrick, they've struggled.
Yeah, absolutely, and then you saw the interception from Neal thrown right to Emerson Bikey. He tried to maybe lead his receiver a little bit too much. And the Comet defensive line has been phenomenal so far tonight.
Yeah, and you can tell that even with some of the misses from the Viking offense, they're still trying to get Zion Neal into free space. And that's a guy who ran for 150 yards versus Lakota East last week in that 42-7, slaughter, you could say, to the Thunderhawks. But it's a guy, if the Comets can keep him, the Comet front 7 can keep him enclosed, keep him away from open space, you can have an even better day. But 1st down and 10, ball spotted at the 10. Be a handoff to Hambrick up the middle, and he'll gain a couple yards there on 1st down, piling through the Comet defense. That'll make it 2nd for the Princeton offense.
They only got about 3 yards, tackled again by number 55, Big John Hendricks.
Yeah, and if the Comets, if they're going to have a big game defensively, it's going to have to come from 55. The guy who's had some of the most varsity time out of anybody on this Comet team. Like we mentioned, he was 1st team All-GMC last year. He got in the end zone last week versus Hamilton. But another guy who we haven't seen a whole lot, Trevor, A.J. Kaler, one of the top statistical guys on defense for the Comets this year. It'll be a handoff to the left side. The Comet defense is there. Pushing him back to the 10 was Hambrick on the carry again.
Guess who was in there again?
Can I take a guess?
You want to take a guess?
John Hendricks.
John Hendricks in there again. Hendricks has been all over the field so far tonight.
And how much of a game this means to these seniors? It's your final homecoming game going against one of your biggest rivals over the past couple of years in the Princeton Vikings. Games like this is right with senior night on importance. And not just to mention the implications that way, but standings-wise, this is a huge game to determine throughout the rest of the year who's going to be taking the GMC.
They blew it dead. Another false start, and man, penalties are killing this Princeton Viking Viking team.
It was 3rd and 8 before the penalty, and that's going to drive them even farther back. It'll be 3rd and double digits, packed by their own end zone. And Trevor, after, obviously you are missing your starting quarterback for Princeton and Barnes, but you still have some of your best skill position guys. This is just a team that does not look together. They look a little lost down there in the Comet defense, who's been struggling this season. They're so far having their best game.
And the Comets defense has always also been great. They have so many experienced players. As Neal will pitch it.
Out to the right side, still on his feet, out towards the sideline. It's a first down for the Vikings on the big play. And there might be something to move them more in the right direction. It's 1st down and 10 now for the Vikings.
I mean, they got to the outside, and there was a bunch of green grass. There was nobody want to stop him.
Pitch it to his brother. His brother, Neal. The carry will go just a little bit past the 40. Jeremiah Neal, the sophomore for this Princeton team. 22 attempts, 154 yards going into this game. But the Vikings running here in a hurry-up offense. Zion Neal will keep it himself. He gets out to the left side, and he's just tripped down by Alex Brown. That could have been big. But the senior captain's able to get him down by the shoestring. Prevents a big play. So 1st and 10 for the Vikings. Neal will look to throw. He's going to launch it way downfield, and it's almost intercepted by Jason Lewis. He overthrows his target. He was looking for Landon Myrie, and Jason Lewis, the strong safety, was just a step too far.
Are we sure that one was intended for a Princeton Viking? That one looked like it was going straight to the Comets.
And you can see the inexperience from Zion Neal so far. You could say a guy who, the couple times he's looked back to throw, they've been off target. It caused the interception for Emerson Bikey. And there, those deep shots, they're not easy. Those are, without to say, some of the hardest passes to complete in football. But Neal, he's shown flashes. He's thrown in every game so far this year. And there's another false start on the Vikings.
Oh, they call timeout.
Timeout.
Wow. I mean, they've literally been, killing themselves with these penalties. They already have 6 penalties in this game, and it's evident that they are not very, very good and disciplined penalty-wise. I mean, if you look at rushing defense this season, Princeton obviously number 1, only allowing 45 yards a game, but 1.8 yards average on the year. The long being 33 and then 5 touchdowns off the rush. But the Comets, they have the 6th rated rush defense, only allowing 151 yards a game, 8 touchdowns on the ground. But they have been gashed by big plays.
Absolutely, and those big plays are going to come back when the offense of the Princeton Vikings are shooting themselves in the foot. These penalties, they're not just a this week issue. Last week versus Lakota East, Trevor, they were penalized 13 times for 136 yards versus Lakota East Thunderhawks. So something that the coaches are definitely going to have to try and fix up. It'll now be 2nd down and 10. Another whistle before the snap.
It was a penalty. I think it was a penalty. I think they're going to call false start here.
The Vikings were pointing in the Comet direction.
I'm pretty sure the guard twitched on John Hendricks' side. I'm pretty sure he twitched his shoulder. That's why John Hendricks went.
Wait on the official call.
Nope,
it'll be offsides versus the Comets. A call that can go either way, but after what would have been 2nd and 10, now has moved to 2nd and 5. A little bit more manageable. This ball spotted right around midfield at the Viking 48. Or the Mason 48, excuse me. 2nd and 5, the Vikings in Comet territory. Neal in the backfield. He'll keep it himself. He's forced backwards, and the Comets are there once more. Alex Brown forces him back into A.J. Kaler, and he makes a sack the tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Great job there by number 1, Alex Brown, pushing him back inside where your big guys are. AJ Kaler right there. Juan Bates was also in the area. Probably could have made the tackle if Kaler didn't.
And look at the energy from Alex Brown. This is a guy, every time he's in a play, he is out there screaming. I mean, truly, what a captain is showing. Hyping up this defense, hyping up this crowd. As that now makes it 3rd down. Once again, the Vikings finding themselves in a 3rd and long situation. It's 3rd and 8 is what it's ruled. Neal with the back on both sides. RPO elects to keep it himself, and he's going to get the 1st down. He was going down, but the Comets look to have pushed him over towards the 1st down line.
I mean, you could have seen that coming from a mile away that one was going to be kept by Neal. I mean, he was holding on to that ball forever. 1, 2, 3, and then finally takes it. Tackled by Juan Bates on the end, and then the ref
took the ref with him. Yeah, and that tackle from Bates, you gotta just try and get him down. You can push him more and more towards that end zone.
I mean, Bates he's very strong. He probably could have pulled him back towards himself. Obviously, forward progression probably would have given him the 1st down anyways, but pull him back. You have him by the jersey, and even if you pull him to where Big John Hendricks was in the area too, he could have laid him out.
I'm coming up for halftime.
So it will be a 1st down for the Vikings. Just around 5 minutes left to go here in the 1st half. The Comets holding a 1-point lead. But the Vikings looking to switch that around. Neal will look to throw, fires immediately right side. It's caught over the middle, out past the 30 towards the 25. And the Comet defense is finally able to get in his direction. Still up, David Fields, number 4.
That's just unlucky there. Number 38, Jake Kelling, he had a great read on it, and he slips as he was going to go make somewhat of a play on number 4.
And senior makes a big play. Neal is going to keep it himself. Flush back over to the middle, breaks a couple of tackles, and Dave Hutton, one of the couple in there for the Comets to finally bring him down. It'll be a short gain there on 1st, and makes it 2nd. And Trevor, here's where that defensive stand can come in so big. If you just hold these Vikings to a field goal here, it's still any sort of points will get you back in the lead. You just got to, the Comet defense, you just got to avoid getting them in that end zone.
They had a hot, heavy offensive line set. This looks like a run formation here all day long.
Lyrie, the only receiver out. There'll be a handoff to Hambrick up the middle. Still moving, pushing Comet defenders away, and he's finally taken down at the 5.
And they had an extra 3 offensive linemen in there for Princeton, and John Hendricks able to bring him down with the help of Cameron Simmons and Emerson Bikey. At that point, if they're bringing that many extra players in to play offensive line, you have to bring in extra players to play defensive line. Now they are 100% running the ball here. They got extra 2 players on each side.
1st and 5. It's going to be a handoff. Hambrick up the middle, close. He doesn't look like he gets in on that one. Maybe just a yard short. Simmons was in there on the tackle.
The Comets had to bring out a heavy package. They're just going to run the ball. They have so many players in playing offensive line. They have 2 extra players on each side. You have to bring in extra defensive linemen.
Just a little over 3 minutes left to go here in the 1st half. The Vikings knocking on the door. Neal will take it himself up the middle, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown Vikings. They get the lead back off of a short run from the quarterback Zion Neal. And just a couple minutes left to go in the 1st half. The Vikings regain the lead.
That one went right up the middle, and they had an extra 3 or 4. It looked like they had their field goal unit out with Neal at quarterback. They had so many players playing offensive line there that if you're the Comet defense, you have to bring in extra people.
And Trevor, in a spot like this, do you go for 2?
I think you have to. Take the 2 points, you make it a 7-point lead. Touchdown won't be a demise factor.
So they will go for 2. You got to think that it's a no-brainer in a spot like this. Neal in the backfield. And it looks like the Comets going to call a timeout beforehand. Coach Castle running down the sideline. Both teams will link this over. A huge 2-point conversion here, Trevor. If you do get this and you're the Vikings, it makes a touchdown and an extra point just tie it. But if you don't get this, a touchdown puts the Comets back in the lead. And we look, going into the second half, the Vikings will get possession. So now can be a big chance to get some points, hold the Comets potentially, and then get the ball back.
When you look back at the touchdown, you see all the players by Princeton right there in the middle. They were wedge blocking. That is called wedge blocking. Wedging inside to get your running back right behind them. They had again, I'm mentioning it a lot, but they had so many people on the interior offensive line. They had the center, a guard, tackle, tight end on one side, guard, tackle, tight end on the other. That's a whole running formation. The Comet defense has to spot that out and bring some more pressure. You're not going to be able to get a lot of pressure if you have 4 defensive linemen going against 7 offensive linemen.
So the teams will come back out for the 2-point. It's a stacked 4-eye look for the Vikings. Neal will keep it himself, forced back inside, and he's into the end zone. They get the 2-point conversion and makes it a 14-7 lead for the Vikings. Just a few minutes left to go here in the second, and it's a 7-point lead for Princeton.
Pretty much kind of the same formation, except they finally jetted out with Neal doing what they should be doing all night, pretty much. Get Neal on the outside and let him use his wheels.
So what a drive there from the Vikings. It hasn't been going your way so far offensively. There's a touchdown, but you're able to make that drive. You had a huge pass down the field to really set you up in Comet territory, and you're able to keep it going, push it in for 7. And now you have yourselves a lead, and you're getting the ball back to start the third quarter. You're putting the Comets back on their toes.
We'll score update. Lakota West up on Middletown at Middletown, and the Lakota West kicker sets a school record 56-yard field goal.
Oh my.
Sneaks in with room, by the way. With room for more.
I think we keep seeing, you go on Twitter and you see some of these high school kickers launching 60-yard field goals. I mean, that kid on West, he has a leg on him. We already saw the Comets went to Lakota West earlier this year, and that's a guy who's been a 4-year player at Lakota. If there was a guy in the GMC who was going to hit it, it'd be him. Wow, 56.
56 with room. It looked like it would have been good from 60 right there.
So the Vikings will come out to kick this one back off. The Comets do have pretty solid amount of time to start another drive.
It's going to go out of bounds.
Go out of bounds. Nice job from Kelling to let that go.
Here's another score update in the GMC. The Coleraine Cardinals running away with what could be their first win of the season, 27-3 in the second quarter.
Comets come back out with 3 minutes left to go here in the first half. Once again, finding themselves trailing. You do have time, Trevor. You're not in a point where you're going to be, using a bunch of your timeouts. You're in a spot where you can have your offense form, put this ball on the ground, and still have time to take your time for the next play. 1st and 10. Be a handoff. Birdsong up the middle, and he pauses, and that's going to bring him down behind the line. No gain there. Jones, one of the guys on the tackle for the Vikings. That makes it 2nd down.
Yeah, they didn't get any blocking on the backside. He came right around the end. Right between that pulling guard. Definitely Oscar, the center, probably should have blocked back on that one.
2nd down. Birch looking to throw with time. Fires right side for Wiggins. And he does make the catch right around the sideline. There's a nice play on 3rd down. Or on 2nd down, excuse me. It makes it 3rd. Make it 3rd and 4. Wiggins, a guy who at the start of the year was not getting a whole lot of production. It took a couple weeks to really get himself going, and it was versus Lakota East that he finally found himself getting the ball a couple of times. And since then, he's really been a key guy for this Comet offense. Had a huge reception versus Hamilton or versus Oak Hills a few weeks ago. Some touchdowns against Oak Hills. There's a pass out to Hubbard. And nothing doing there for the junior wide receiver there on 3rd down. The Vikings secondary makes a big play. It's number 21, Gianni Simpson.
He was not happy at the end that he didn't get that. I mean, that's a fumble. Luckily, they stopped it. Luckily for the Comets, they stopped it before the fumble. Not really sure what was the kind of play call there. They had no one out there blocking for Hubbard. It was kind of like it was literally a naked screen. You look back on it, and he's up, and that ball is ripped away. That should have been a fumble there.
That's a fumble.
That's a fumble. They called it down for forward progress before that point, and he's not happy. Obviously, you can see him. Jumping around. That could have also been celebration-like, but then he's really, really stopping as he's walking around the field.
Yeah, Simpson, one of the top corners on this team, taking one more look at this. I mean, that's a fumble and a half. He just takes it out of the hands of Chris Hubbard, but the Comets catch a big break there on 3rd down.
I mean, if you're a Comets fan, you'll take that all day long.
Birch will come out for another punt. Here with just a little over a minute and a half left to go. Gets the punt away cleanly. And it will be returned out at the 35, looking for room to go. And it'll get to around the 37. Will Simpson.
In there to kind of make the tackle is the long snapper and current center, number 61, Joey Oscar.
You like to see the big boys getting down there.
Oh, I mean, as a long snapper, you are not allowed to be touched until that ball is pretty much caught. Especially when you have your head down and you snap that ball. If you are touched, that is a 15-yard penalty for roughing the snapper.
So the Vikings come out for another drive. Last time it was their best drive of the game, marching down the Comet field, able to get into the end zone and regain the lead. Just about a minute 24 left to go here in the first. Neal bobbles the snap, now flushed immediately to the right side. Fires to a wide open Caleb Miller past the 50, out to the 42. Miller still on his feet past the 40. Caleb Miller, who has not had a whole lot of production, with a 6'7" frame, finally gets himself involved.
I mean, the Comets, you cannot tackle a guy that high, that tall, that high. He's not going to go down. You have to hit him at the knees. I mean, you kind of have to been preaching that all night.
3 receivers out for Neal. He'll fire it immediately to the left side. It was caught by Fields, number 4, senior wide receiver. 2nd reception for him on the day.
Great job there by Darren Knott to get off the block of Muri and kind of blow up that screen. What could have been more yards.
Less than a minute to go. Neal going to fire over the middle, and open was Neal. Emerson Bikey makes the play, and Jeremiah Neal was open there in the middle of the field. It bobbles off of his hands, and Emerson Bikey able to make a nice play there to stop what would have been a big gain.
Yeah, he He definitely plays the receiver on that one. Probably could have ended with his second pick of the night. And I don't know if that was more of a tackle by Bikey or more of a tackle by Neal to make sure that interception was not a possible thing. I mean, that would have been his second interception of this night and on the year.
.33 seconds left to go. The Vikings trying to punch this in for a few more points. Some more laundry on the field before this one. It's going to be a false start. Another one on the Vikings. And that's big for the Comet defense. Time's not exactly on your side if you're Princeton, and you're giving Mason some free cushion.
Yeah, and I think that one was a good call by the Comet defensive line. Really, they were kind of just getting up and jumping around. I don't think they ever really false started until they were jumping around, and then another guy on Princeton decided to step backwards.
That makes it 3rd and 8 after the penalty. Both teams will head to the sideline. There will be a timeout, so 24 seconds left. You're the Vikings. You know, your kicker, Messer, has not had a solid day. He already missed a PAT year earlier, has a long of 38 on the season, but you have 24 seconds. You're the Comets. You're wanting that special teams unit to come out. Last thing you want is giving the Vikings 7 extra points going into the half, because you're the Vikings. You go up 21-7 and get the ball at half. This could be a very, very different ball game just a couple minutes into the third quarter. But here's a big drive for both sides. For the Comets, it's keeping this a one-possession game, or maybe going down by 10. But for the Vikings, you want another one of those big plays. You want another David Hambrick 30-yard touchdown run. You want another Zion Neal burst of speed to the outside. 3rd down and 8 to go. Neal, long drop back. Now he'll run out to the left side. He fires it, going for the end zone. Incomplete. Darren Knotts on the coverage. Looking for number 4 once more. David Fields, the senior. And the corner for the Comets makes a nice play. It's 4th down.
There's that replay on that. A beautiful ball by Neal.
He was almost past the line.
Yeah, he was almost past the line, but still a beautiful throw, and then a great job by Darren Knott to break up that one. Now 4th and about 8. Do you send out your field goal kicker who missed an extra point so far tonight, or you kind of have to go for this one?
I think you keep the offense out in the field.
You're kind of in no man's land.
And you got to think, you look at Caleb Miller on the side, by far the tallest guy out there on the field. The Comets don't really have anyone going up with him. It's Jason Lewis. Neal rolling out right, being chased, fires to the right side. It's caught. It'll be a 1st down, and there's finally the 3-star tight end, Landon Myrie, getting that reception. Nice throw on the run there from Zion Neal.
I probably could have told you that one was going number 9's way. I mean, you lined him up in the slot. You had him against one of your smaller linebackers, and he was just wide open from the get-go.
Neal looking to throw once again. Now fires, going for the end zone. Incomplete. He was looking for Miller right around the pylon. That'll make it 2nd down with just about 14 seconds left. We haven't seen Caleb Miller on the stat sheet much this year. A guy who, went over to Princeton right around when high school started and hasn't had a whole lot of playing time, but here in this one, the Vikings really trying to get him incorporated, and it's because of how undersized the Comets are defensively. And you don't really have that very tall guy. You have Emerson Bikey, your safety, who has a bit of height on him. But I got to think at some point, it might be this play, there's going to be a one-on-one shot to that big wide receiver.
Absolutely, and we're to the far side. You got Myrie lined up in the slot now with Bikey over top of him.
2nd down. Neal alone in the backfield. Drops back to throw, fires over the middle. It's caught. Pass to 10, out to around the 7.
The holding.
Once again, number 4, David Fields.
There's a holding in the backfield.
And there is a flag, arms up in the air for the coaches on the Mason sideline. Princeton trying to move quicker than the refs.
So Princeton was really trying to hurry up there to try to negate the penalty. You weren't going to get that penalty negated by hurrying up on the play. I mean, you look at it. Here it comes. It's going to be in the left tackle on Bates. Bates has drawn another holding penalty. He has drawn a lot of holding penalties this year. A quick guy off the edge, great swim move, great pass sets. He's also a very smart individual outside of the game of football.
Eddie Fortson, number 71, the left tackle. Guy with a Youngstown State offer, the same place where his quarterback Zion Neal is going. Neal committed there. But now 8 seconds left on the clock. A timeout is called. You got potentially one, maybe two plays if you're the Princeton Vikings. You got to be thinking we're about to see some end zone shots.
For sure, from this Princeton team.
We've seen a lot of David Fields, the senior, so far today. Came in 7 receptions, only about 63 yards. He's been targeted more in these last two games versus West and East, and so far getting the most time out of any of the receivers. And you got to think you have a new quarterback. He's going to, he might like some of his receiver matchups more than Barnes did, the regular quarterback for this Princeton team. So you're going to end up seeing some more in there. Eight seconds left. The offense and defense will come back out onto the field. For the Comets, you got to be thinking it's some sort of a prevent-style defense, doing anything to keep the Vikings out of the end zone. And the Vikings out of timeouts. Either a quick hitter or an end zone shot. 3 receivers left. Neal looking left, now flush back right. He's going to keep it himself. Crosses out to the left side. He has some room. Zion Neal, the clock expires, and he dives forward.
He's out of bounds.
They call him out of bounds before.
And the clock was expired before he went out of bounds. That'll be halftime.
Just a few yards short of taking a 2-possession lead. Instead, they call him out of bounds, and the clock ends before he wants to. He's being chased by Brian O, going out to the left side, right around the 10. We'll see.
Yeah, he steps out of bounds about the 5-yard line as the clock expired. So it's only a 1-possession game, but Princeton does get the ball at the half.
We will head to halftime. Once we come back out, the Vikings will get the kickoff. Look at a bit of a recap. The Comets, they don't get the fumble, but they get an interception, and then a big touchdown pass to Brandon Birdsong puts them on the board. But the Vikings, they were able to come back, get in the lead, and it's 14-7. We'll take it to a break. Stay tuned for the second half here at Dwire Field.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
All right, I'm in the house.
Okay, what do you see?
Nothing yet. Hold on. I think I just heard something. I'm heading upstairs.
Okay, I am almost there.
I'm in the bedroom.
Okay.
Oh, shit. It's not here.
What?
The gun's not here.
What do you mean? Where is it?
Cameron, are you in there? Open the door. Cam! Come on, Cameron.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
All right, I'm in the house.
Okay, what do you see?
Nothing yet. Hold on. I think I just heard something. I'm heading upstairs.
Okay, I am almost there.
I'm in the bedroom.
Okay.
Oh, shit. It's not here.
What?
The gun's not here.
What do you mean? Where is it?
Cameron? Are you in there? Open the door. Cam! Come on, Cameron.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
All right, our first item of business is a presentation, which is a swearing in of a new officer.
A freeze-on mayor with Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas. Freezing himself inside the tent. Touchdown, Marymount. From the top of the key, Anna Habra ties the score.
How you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Thank you.
A place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Have you ever helped a fellow veteran?
Yes. I do my best reaching out to my brothers and sisters in arms.
Have you ever asked for help yourself?
Most of us, we're not gonna admit that we need to help.
You don't have someone to kind of help you guide those thoughts. It can be really bad.
It's just a beautiful space when someone can trust you and say, listen, I need help.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
CWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right seat.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We welcome you back into Dwire Field. It's still currently halftime. The Comets finding themselves down 14-7 here going into the start of the second half. I'm Daniel Panetti, joined alongside Trevor Rose. We're going to take this back down to the pregame where they were. Let's take it back down to Kyle and them down low.
It is the Vikings and Comets here on ICRC TV. Kyle Evans alongside Logan Dyer. 14-7. Princeton leads. Vikings got the scoring started early in the first quarter, but then they missed the extra point. But the Comets defense has been playing great this first half.
Yeah, Princeton scored first quarter. They got the scoring off pretty quick, and they missed the extra point. The defense is keeping them in the game, keeping the Comets in the game. The Comets did answer back and score, and they got the extra point. And then Princeton came up in the second quarter with another touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and that's where we sit. It's 14-7.
We talked in pregame. We talked about defense, right? Me, you, and Bill talked about this was going to be a defensive game. If you're Brian Castner, the head coach of Mason, you're happy. If someone says, "Hey, you're going to go in the locker room down to the second best team in the GMC, only down 7," you're thrilled.
Oh yeah, you're thrilled. You're doing something right on the defensive side of the ball. They're getting stops where they need them. They're not allowing Princeton to pick up third downs, and they're moving. They're getting them to punt the ball essentially, right, instead of scoring, and they're doing a pretty good job of it.
And we want to credit Mason's defense because right before the half, Vikings could easily be up 21-7, but I think he stepped out of bounds at around the 5-yard line. So credit their defense. So right now, if you're Princeton, if you're Mason, I should say, what are you talking about in that locker room?
You're obviously praising your defense, right? And then you're also stating that, hey, you could be down 2 scores right now, but you're only down 1 score to the second best team in the conference. So you're looking pretty good on all sides of the ball.
It's going to be an interesting second half here from Dwire Field. It's homecoming tonight. Of course, everyone's pumped up. It's exciting. We did have some scores from around the GMC. I don't have those on top of me. I believe Lakota East was leading Fairfield 17-7 last I checked. Coleraine was beating Sycamore 20-3. That game was like in the second quarter. But then I think the big game was Lakota West was losing to Middletown. Or Middletown was beating Lakota West, excuse me.
Lakota West was up on Middletown, 14-6, I believe, was the score that I last saw on the big board here at the Beacon Orthopedics, Dwire Field, whatever you want to call it, here in Mason.
It's a mouthful there. You take a look at the Princeton Vikings as they're getting ready to start the second half, and it's been fun and exciting. And next week, we'll give a little tease. We're going to be at Mount Healthy for the ICRC kickoff report. We won't have you. You'll be back, but we'll have Bill and we'll have Tori, and we'll be live from Mount Healthy. That's next Friday night, and it's Harrison in Mount Healthy. We're going to send things back upstairs to the guys calling the game tonight on the NBC broadcast crew. It's halftime. Comments.
And we welcome you back. Thanks, guys, down there. You're doing a great job. The Comets looking to find themselves back into this one. It's a 14-7 lead for the Princeton Vikings so far. Taking a look at some of these highlights, D'Angelo Birch, a couple of nice runs. The Comets had a nice drive finding themselves into the end zone. Trevor, they got to have the offense going here in the second.
Yeah, the offense only operating about 109 total yards, 37 of that being passing yards, 72 rushing yards, compared to the 201 yards that the Princeton offense already has, 70 of that being through the air, 131 on the ground. But the biggest reason why this game is so close is the penalties. Princeton has 8 penalties for 81 yards, and the Comets only 4 penalties for 28 yards, most of the time possession being to the Vikings, and they also have that turnover that led to the Comet touchdown on their second drive. So far tonight, it's been punt, punt, touchdown, punt, punt for the Comets, and then look at Princeton. It's been touchdown, interception, punt, touchdown, time expired.
Absolutely. So for the Princeton Vikings, it's play cleaner football. For the Comets, it's get that offense going. We're going to send it back to a short break. Once we come back, it's the second half of the homecoming game here at Dwire Field. Stay tuned here on ICRC.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
I surrender.
All right, pal. Get ready for the day, buddy.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's that?
Do we have a gun?
All right, our first item of business is a presentation, which is a swearing in of a new officer.
A Princeton mayor with Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas. Brings it himself inside the 10. Touchdown, Merrimont. From the top of the key, Anna Habra ties the score.
And back for the second half here at Dwire Field for the homecoming game for the Mason Comets. They trailed the Princeton Vikings 14-7. The Comets will kick off and the Vikings will receive. I'm Daniel Panetti, joined alongside Trevor Rose for today's broadcast. And Trevor, we did a little bit of a recap of that first half, but it was the Comets making the most off of some bad plays from the Princeton Vikings. But since then, the offense has not been moving and the Vikings have been able to get themselves back in.
Vikings will start offensively, and like we mentioned just before on the halftime show, it's been all Princeton offense pretty much. 10 first downs, 201 total yards, but 81 yards in penalties, so pretty much you're only really at 120 total yards.
Gogol kicks it off, and we're underway here for the second half. Takes a bounce and retrieved it to 10. Moving out to the 25 to the right side. He's still on his feet. Out to the 50, and there he goes. Out all the way to the Comet 34, or 33, it looks like, where they might spot him. A huge gain there for number 21, Gianni Simpson. And the Vikings have incredible field positioning here to start the third.
Yeah, he fielded it off the bounce, and then he just took it up the middle. And one thing that I would like to mention is almost a touchdown-saving hit there by number 14, Max Gogol. He stops him to get his teammates to come up and tackle him down. But Princeton's special teams has been phenomenal tonight, especially on the kickoff returns.
So great field position for Zion Neal in this Viking offense, looking to take a 2-possession lead. They almost did to end the first half, but Neal stepped out of bounds right as the clock expires. Miscommunication in the backfield, and the Comets take control of it. There's a tackle for loss out to the 40.
And guess who's there? Number 55, John Hendricks.
I mean, what a game that the senior Hendricks has been having. A guy who wants this just as bad as anybody else on this defense and on this team as a whole. He's been making play after play in the backfield. Number 55, such a cornerstone piece for this Comet defense. He's really showing it. It'll make it 2nd and 16, ball at the 39 after the big loss for the Vikings. Neal in the backfield. He'll take it back, keep it himself, trying to go up the middle. The Comet defensive line able to form a wall and take him down. Might have gained a yard. That makes it 3rd. And it could be a big chance for a stop if you're the Comets.
And a big-time stop at that. To open the half, get a good stop. Alex Brown there first on the tackle. Also Juan Bates in there. I mean, you got to see what do you think they're going to do here, Daniel? Maybe a pass?
You got to think this ball might be going in the air. If it's not, it's sticking with Zion Neal. I think you're dropping back and you're letting Neal kind of decide where he wants to go with it. The pass game has been working decently. There's a play action and a penalty comes out beforehand.
False start.
It's going to be another false start on the Vikings. Once again, Trevor, these pre-snap penalties eating this team alive.
And that's their 9th penalty for 86 yards. Almost 90 yards in just penalty yardage so far tonight.
Third and very long. It'll be 3rd and about 18 for this Viking offense. You got to think this is your chance to get a stop if you're Mason. You allowed the big kickoff return, but now holding them back. 3rd down. Neal looking to throw, has some time, now flushed out towards the middle, keeping his eyes downfield. Pump fakes, still looking, fires, and it's caught. Down on the left side, Caleb Miller, past the 30, out to the 26, it looks like. Miller with another reception.
You say at the 28 is when he was stepped out of bounds. 4th and 4.
So a nice job from the Princeton offensive line, giving Neal enough time to roll out left. He finds his big receiver, Caleb Miller, who's having his best game of the season so far. It's 4th down, and the offense is staying out on the field. What a big turnaround this could be for the Vikings after 3rd and 18, a 14-yard pickup. Still well in Comet territory. 4th and 4.
And false start.
Another false start. And you would have thought with halftime, this is probably the thing that the coaching staff was talking so heavily of, is play clean football. You had 13 penalties last week, and now you're starting to head to that line again. It is a false start.
Wait, what?
He points to the Comets side.
They called an illegal procedure on the Comets? But still 4th down, I mean. No. They did a false start motion but called offsides on the Comets.
Questionable to say the least. So that does make it first down for the Vikings. Neal over the middle, almost intercepted by Alex Brown. He hits himself in the helmet. Brown would have had that and have some room over the middle. Missed opportunity there for the Comet. It makes it second down. Look at this. Throws right into the hands of Alex Brown. What a turnover that could have been.
I mean, he could have been running for days.
So a huge break there for the Viking offense makes it 2nd and 10. Neal will keep it himself up the middle, has room. Neal breaks through the opening. Touchdown Vikings. One play after a potential turnover for the Vikings. And the athlete Zion Neal with the read option, a perfect execution. Takes it into the end zone, burning that middle part of the Comet defense. And it's a 2-possession lead for the Princeton Vikings.
I mean, he went right up the middle, and no one was even close on that. I don't know if there's any quarterback spy happening, but they had nobody like watching Zion Neal. That one was definitely going to go up the middle of the field 100%.
Yes, they're out for the extra point. It's up, and this time he knocks it through. It's 21-7 for the Princeton Vikings here with just about 10 minutes left to go in the third. We'll see the first drive of the second half for the Mason offense. And Trevor, you got to think that now is when you got to start ramping up this offense. And you've had a couple of looks. You had some deep ball shots. Guys like Chris Hubbard, Tristan Newhouse has had some nice plays. But overall, you're still looking to just find that big play, find some execution, commit on those 3rd and shorts. Has been something that the Comets have not been able to do. So put together some nice drives, because Princeton is a team that can make this out of hand in the snap of a finger.
Absolutely. I mean, they're still committing a lot of penalties, and I don't know if there ever was really a false start penalty. And Coach Kastner is letting that line judge hear it on the sideline.
Yeah, and that was a 4th and 4 that was just then given to the Princeton Vikings because of a penalty that it didn't look like anyone was really fully agreeing with. Instead, it gives them the first down. A ball thrown right into the hands of Alex Brown, unable to come up with it. And a play later, Zion Neal took it all the way. The kick is off. Kelling back to return. He'll take it out. His second kick return of the day. Gets to the outside, out to around the 30 before he runs out of bounds. Nice return for the sophomore.
Yeah, it's going to be on late hit on Princeton and our 15-yard penalty. Looked like maybe there could have been 2 on that one, and there's a player shaken up by a Comet player. Don't know who that one is. 85, he got kicked. He got kicked in the chest as number 21 was walking away.
The ref's still talking this over, waiting for an official call. So another look at this.
Yeah, that's Nagel. And then 85 gets kicked there by Simpson. Personal foul, hit out of bounds. Another 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, Noble James, number 20, it looked like, who was just an unnecessary shove on Alex Noggle. I mean, that's a play that's going to drive coaches crazy. You're just giving them free yardage. Now the Comets are going to have a lot better field position to start out.
101 total on penalty yardage.
It's D'Angelo Birch and this Mason team coming back out for their first drive of the second half. Just about 9:37 left here in the third. Ball spotted right around midfield. Birch will take it up the middle. Gets right around the 50. He might get a yard past it. They'll mark him down at the 49. Still bringing him down way after the whistle.
And another 15-yard penalty on Princeton. We've seen 3 of those.
I mean, tensions are obviously going to be high in a game like this. You know, we have mentioned the spotlight of D'Lo Birch coming into this game, and there might be a little bit of issues going on there, but you're just giving Mason free yardage, and if you're D'Angelo Birch, you're loving it.
Oh, I'll take that 100% of the time. I mean, and you can tell this Princeton defense is not very happy. They're trying to get after themselves a little bit.
So without a full snap, the Comets are already into Princeton territory. 1st and 10. Birch, he'll take it himself once more. Guiding some blockers, now breaks out to the right side, past the 30. There's a nice run from the Comet quarterback. He gains a nice bunch there on 1st down.
Yeah, about 8 yards. Great blocking on the edge by number 1, Alex Brown. You see him getting a block on number 91, Jesse Proctor. Maybe got away with a little bit of a holding penalty there.
Birch, out to the left side, Chris Hubbard. Can't get away from some of the corners. It's a nice stop there on 2nd. That makes it 3rd and manageable for the Comets. And Trevor, you're thinking, you're Mason, you got to get a 1st. You don't want to bring the field goal unit out.
No, I don't want to bring this field goal unit out, especially right here.
And Andrew Wells was flying to the ball right there. The senior, we've mentioned his name a couple of times. He's had a super solid game for this Viking defense. Guy who had 10 tackles versus Moeller, 11 versus West. A cornerstone member of that secondary. 3rd down, about 3 to go for the Comets. Birch keeping it. It's blown up behind the line of scrimmage, and Birch just falls down. Number 11, Elijah Walker, the senior, in there on the tackle, and it causes 4th down for the Comets.
I mean, that's just costly. He blew up. Number 73, Xander Garby. Went right through the offensive line and blew up that play. But now you're in no man's land. You kind of have to go for it here.
4th down. Biggest play of the game for the Comets so far. Birch looking to throw. Pocket collapses, and he's going to get taken down. Jesse Proctor, excuse me. That's number 9 for the Vikings, Landon Myrie. They're on the sack, and the Comets turn it over.
You just can't have that, especially this late in the ball game. You're down by 2 possessions, and your offensive line just collapsed. They were decent all night, and then they just collapse here. Right guard, Andy Hutton, getting beat pretty badly on the inside.
And that was a big point going into this game, is that this is a undersized Comet offensive line. You look at some of the weights across this, 230, 275 is your most weighted guy on the offensive line. That's the center, Joey Oscar. 1st down. Out to the left side, past the 45, still on his feet, in the Comet territory. This one might be coming back, but a nice play there on 1st if it does stand.
Yeah, it's a holding. They were holding number 13 on the edge the whole time. Yeah, that's Jason Lewis on the edge. I mean, you can see it right there. Tries to get off. And that draws it pretty much 9 times out of 10. Sometimes you see them not calling that one. The last Comet drive, 5 plays, 19 yards and turnover on downs. They had 18 yards on the first play off the 3 yards by Birch and then a 15-yard penalty on top of it.
Yeah, it felt like a similar spot to where the Comets got their first touchdown. It was a turnover forced by Emerson Bikey in this Comet defense where the Comets were able to drive the extra about 20, 30 yards. And that time Princeton had gifted them field positioning, but they weren't able to make anything of it. 1st and 12 is what they'll spot it. Neal in the backfield with 3 receivers bunched to the right side. He'll go to the right side, and there's some opening. His brother Nehemiah Neal gets the 1st down. Still going past the 50 out to the 46. And a bunch of shoving after the play. Oh, there's punches being thrown.
Oh, yeah, there are, and that's going to be some disqualifications.
Oh, my.
And they're still going at it. There's more going on, and the sidelines are running. Coaches are running to the sideline.
Tavion Bell, number 60, was down there. These two teams are still going at it.
And we're going to see some disqualifications. Alex Brown was down on the ground getting punched. And wow, this is a huge turn of events. I mean, yeah, Brown was down on the ground getting punched. Take a look back at the play. A screen pass went from the 35 all the way across the field to just about the 43. Here's the punches. Yeah, I mean, they're going right at Alex Brown. Alex Brown, Juan Bates.
What is Bell doing?
I mean, that's disqualification and suspension. That's going to be disqualification and suspension for multiple players on this field tonight, regardless if it's going to be Princeton Vikings, Mason Comets. But Juan Bates was getting punched the whole time, and a push at the end of the play. I mean, you could see it. And they're going at it, and a push right on Jake Kelling. I mean, you're pushing the sophomore who's 5'6", $130. He did nothing. He's just standing there, and he's getting pushed in the face. Punches thrown. This is going to be disqualifications from the game, suspensions handed out. It's going to be a lot.
Just not the type of football that you want to be seeing for either side. It's been a game of penalties, mainly for Princeton, finding themselves over 100 yards of penalty time, and then some more anger coming out. I mean, this is a rivalry that has been heated over the past couple of seasons, and it comes from a couple of transfers on both sides of these teams. But in the GMC, you're going to see rivalries like this. You don't want to see them played out that way on the field, but two teams who do not like each other in the slightest. Both of these officials still talking over. This might be one of the hardest plays to try and review. We're going to send this to a break. We'll be back once the whole calls are settled. Stay tuned as we come back here on ICRC.
People couldn't see my potential, so I had to show them.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
Today, I'm the CEO of my own company.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Why are we not rethinking this?
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
Our first item of business is a presentation, which is a swearing in of a new officer.
A Princeton mayor with Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas. Brings it himself inside the 10. Touchdown, Marymount. From the top of the key, Anna Habra ties the score.
And we welcome you back into Dwire. The coaches and officials still talking out on the field. You can see the sea of yellow on the field, but just kind of recap what's been going on here in the second half. It was a touchdown from Zion Neal to give them a 2-possession lead, and the Comets had a bit of a drive, Trevor. They get stood up on downs, and the Vikings were looking to make a drive, and now a bit of a stoppage.
Yeah, after a great play by Princeton, and then just a little too much on the play. Well, I mean, the game's been heated all night, and you definitely could tell that. It's going to be heated. Any GMC game is going to have some intensity behind it.
You wonder if these officials and coaches are talking about if this game should continue.
I mean, you kind of have to let it continue, but, I mean, this could send Princeton all the way back, because most of these penalties are definitely going to be on the Princeton side. I mean, there were at least 3 or 4 players See what they call for it. Still discussing. I mean, this is a rough one.
It looks like 2 players for Princeton are getting ejected. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Princeton. Late hit on the Comets.
It's going to go back 15 yards.
And it looks...
There have been 2 ejections on the Princeton sideline.
So the scuffle finally comes to an end. So a couple disqualifications after the scuffle, and now we can try and get this game back resumed. Just not the sportsmanship you want to see. And it is a rivalry, and you know, you always think about the Mason and Sycamore rivalry, but the Mason and Princeton rivalry has, you know, heated up over the past couple of years between these 2 programs, and sometimes it can go a little bit over the bump. But once we do come back, it will be Viking ball, depending on where they spot them after the penalties.
Pretty much where they started, 1st and 10.
So just about 6:41 left to go here in the 3rd.
And they're having a huddle right here between the front 7.
They're shaking hands.
Wow. I mean, they kind of have to tell them, like, you got to play the rest of this game with sportsmanship, or they could just call this game right here.
So it will be 1st down. Ball spotted, it looks like the 38. Zion Neal in this offense comes back out. 4 receivers to the left side. It'll be a screen out left. Breaking through is Myrie out left. And another flag comes out at the 47.
It's going to be another holding on the edge.
Excuse me, it looked to be David Fields, number 4. Another reception for the senior receiver.
Yeah, another holding. I mean, they've been... that's a hold on Miller. Had it pretty much was tackling number 13 on the edge. It was Jason Lewis, the cornerback, and held. Be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. There's not been a single play so far on this drive that has not had a penalty marker down. And there have been 5 plays.
So 1st down, 15 to go. Another spread look for the Vikings. 2 receivers on each side of Zion Neal. Will keep it himself. The ball comes out. And I believe Princeton was able to fall back on it. Another fumbled handoff from Zion Neal in this Princeton offense.
And, you know, the quarterback jumping back on his own fumble. We've seen that one time tonight, and the running back just kind of just stood there. Lucky that...
Found himself in a great spot for it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of time on that offensive line. If not, that ball's picked up by the Comets. The first play not resulting with a penalty.
So now the field position on this drive goes even farther back. After the flag on that first one, it'll make it now second down. Second down, 20 to go. Neal drops back. Pressure coming. Alex Brown chasing him out to the side. He gets it away. Almost completes. To Landon Myrie. Somehow able to get it out, but it falls incomplete.
Yeah, it was Alex Brown and John Hendricks in there. I mean, John Hendricks went a long way to get that one. Oh, man. Yeah, Myrie almost had that one.
That would have been an incredible completion from Zion Neal, who's not a true quarterback, more of a receiver running back kind of guy. But he's had some athletic throws today. Dropping the throw. Rushing out right again. Now takes it down. He's going to run. Still going. Gets past where they started. It looks like that's where he is going to stop. That'll make it fourth down.
Yeah, he gets right at where the drive starts. I mean, they could have missed a holding penalty there on Kaler. I mean, it looked like he was turned around. And punt team's on for Princeton for the second time tonight.
So one of the longest no first down drives you'll see.
7 plays, 0 yards technically on it.
We'll now go to a punt. Around 4 minutes left to go here in the third. They get the punt away. Kelling back to return. Going out right. He's able to evade off of a tackler. And he's tackled down around the 33. The Comet offense will come back out. Trevor, we look at this last drive. They were gifted some nice field positioning after a solid return from Jake Kelling on the kickoff. They got an unsportsmanlike, but the Comet offense, they just weren't able to move.
I mean, the Comets now, you're not really at desperation time, but you're kind of getting close to that point. You're down 2 possessions, but you got to go.
If you're the Comets and you can get 7 on the board before going into the fourth quarter, you find yourself in a very solid spot.
Oh, absolutely.
It's Nagel in the backfield with D'Angelo Birch. Receiver out on both sides. They'll look over to the sideline. And Nagel, we've seen more of Brandon Birdsong, but him in the back as well. Looks to be making a bit of a transition to running back. Birch looking to throw, has time, he's going to fire deep right side, and it's incomplete for Chris Hubbard. Oh, man.
They're letting each other hear it right now. That's number 8. Andrew Wells letting number 26, Charles Newton Jr., the sophomore, hear it.
It hit Hubbard right in the numbers. And Hubbard, he's a guy who's been having a slow year. You know, him and Birch have missed on some deep balls a lot this year. Just seem like they haven't been on the same page. That time, I mean, you can't ask for much of a better pass from D'Lo. He puts it in the numbers, and Hubbard just, thinks before he can move, or moves before he can think, you would say. It's just sometimes your legs and your mind are faster than your hands.
I mean, there's a conference going on right here on the field. Not really sure what it's about. Maybe subbing the player off. Oh, penalty marker. Another. Too many men on the field. And he got ejected?
This is one of the craziest football games I've ever seen.
I mean, wow.
You can see the Princeton defense. They're upset with the call. That was a late flag, Trevor. I mean,
that was...
Talk about a minute after the play.
Yeah, exactly. I was so confused what was going on down there. They're having a little conference. The referees having a conference with the Princeton defense, and then a penalty marker goes out.
So it'll be a first down at the Comet 49. Noggle in the backfield. A penalty comes out before the snap. It's going to be an offsides call on the Vikings.
It's their 17th penalty so far in the game. They have 160 yards in penalty yardage. But they are still ahead in this game by 2 possessions.
I mean, Princeton is trying to keep Mason in this game.
That one probably should have been a false start, but I'll take. As a Comet fan, you'll take it.
Noggle up the middle, breaking some tackles past the 40, still moving, trying to get some pushes from the Comet offensive line. First down for the sophomore turned running back. One of the biggest runs of the day for the Comets. Comets move quickly. Noggle once more up the middle, finds another gap. Alex Noggle is starting to make his name represented.
There's an injury right there. That's 73. That's Xander Garby, the sophomore. He's down. He was limping after that last play, got up to the line on the wrong side of the line of scrimmage. And then, wow, he's writhing in pain.
So a couple nice runs from the Comets. We'll have a pause with the injury. Comets starting to make a decent bit of a drive. We're going to send this to a break. Stay tuned as we come back for the last couple minutes of the third quarter here on ICRC.
You need some help?
Your toe chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Our first item of business is a presentation, which is a swearing in of a new officer.
A Princeton mayor with Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas. Himself inside the 10. Touchdown, Marymount. From the top of the key. Anna Harbor ties the score.
And we welcome you back. Garby being helped off the field alongside some of the coaches.
It was a handoff of the middle to Noggle, and he got about 2 or 3 yards before he was tackled, and it looked like an injured player now down for Princeton. They'll go ahead and call quick whistle as number 18, Terrence Jones, down.
So 2 plays, 2 injuries, one on both sides. You hope both players can end up finding themselves all right.
We look back at, here's this last play with the injury. I mean, you could tell he was already banged up from the play prior, and then D'Angelo Birch is trying to get him up. And here's the scrum where they pull the ball out, whistle him down by contact. I mean, that's twice tonight that that Princeton probably had a takeaway that was blown dead early. But yeah, you could tell Garby on that play, he was already hurt heading into that one. And then he went down. Birch and Brown tried to get over to him like, hey, you need to get up. You need to go. We need to go. He was like, no, I'm done.
And there's some grit from the guard as well, trying to push himself to the play.
I mean, he ended up playing one more play before eventually going out.
First down for the Comets after the run from Noggle.
Birdsong in.
A receiver on both sides of D'Angelo Birch. He'll hand it off to Birdsong. Trying to make some room. Instead, the defense of the Princeton Vikings is able to meet him backwards. And against a team like this, a helmet comes off. They'll have to check out for a play. That was Derek Jeffries, number 10. But, you know, you're Brandon Birdsong against a team like this. You can't Le'Veon Bell yourself into the secondary, into those big yardage plays. You're going to have to just put your head down and run. Second down and 12 for the Comets. Birch will keep it himself, looking to run. Tries to break through a couple. A flag comes out.
Looks like it would be a holding on the Comets. Unless it's hands to the face. Yeah, it looks like it will be a hold.
And Birch was caught up very high going onto that tackle. Probably one of the scariest positions you can be in for a ball carrier. Two minutes and 1 second remaining here in the third. They'll be holding on Mason. Take him all the way back to the 36. So repeat second down. So second and a long way to go for the Comets. Birch is trying to set up the screen to Birdsong. And he's being held from the jersey. A late flag goes flying into the sky.
There's a face mask on Princeton. The PA announcer very into that penalty.
I think the PA announcer's all of us right now.
I mean, that is the 27th penalty this game. And more like 25, but 18 of them being on the Vikings.
It was 42 Jamar Harper, the senior, who was able to hold on to Birdsong, doing a nice job of letting his defensive teammates come and swarm to him. But you get that flag, get that face mask, and the Comets have some even more yardage.
Princeton has more penalty yards than they do rushing yards on the game.
It'll be second down. Birch over the middle. Tristan Newhouse, he comes down with it inside the 10.
And it looks like it will be a late hit. Or are they going to call an eligible man?
It was sort of an awkward look for Birch.
It looks like it is a pass interference on Princeton. Another penalty flag for them tonight. That's their 19th.
And you look at D'Lo Birch on that replay. It was a play action to nobody. He just kind of stood, and you realize it's somewhat similar to that touchdown against Oak Hills a few weeks ago, where he went to the other side of Birdsong and just said, "All right, I'll do it myself." And that time he just throws it up to Tristan Newhouse, who's, I think, quickly becoming one of Birch's favorite targets. And now it's first and goal.
Big man package in.
Ball spot at the 3, Trevor. You got to punch this in.
And you have to punch this in, and then there's still a whole nother quarter. And we're only in the third quarter.
Comets with a couple of their big guns in. Birdsong behind Birch. He'll get the handoff. Roaming up the middle. Birdsong, is he in? Touchdown, Comets! Second of the day for Brandon Birdsong. And with an extra point, it'll be a 7-point game here with just a few minutes left, or a few seconds left in the second half, in the third quarter.
Great job there by the offensive line. Great blocking upfield, and then Brandon Birdsong, great ball vision to follow his blockers. And another thing to mention right there, number 73, Xander Garvey, back in the game.
Talk about big man energy from Garvey. You went down with the injury, and you find yourself back in
only 3 or 4 plays later.
I mean, what a game we've had so far today. Gogol on for the extra point. Looking to make this just a 7-point lead for the Vikings. Emerson Bikey on the hold, and there's a jump on the defensive side, it looks like.
Will be the 20th penalty for Princeton tonight. It's an offsides. Well, no, Castro will decline it.
You got to wonder what practice is going to look like on Monday for these Vikings.
Well, if it was a Comet practice, if this was other way around, the Comets do a sprint for every single penalty they have in a game. So they would have just 20 sprints. Gogol slips it in.
The extra point is up and good. Trevor, you were a former player yourself. You know what some of those might look like. But the Comets, Brandon Birdsong punches it back into the end zone, and just like that, with still 1 minute and 22 seconds left to go in the third, the Comets reeled us back into one possession.
And Daniel, you talk about practices on Mondays. I mean, probably the worst practice I think we had was sophomore year. We played Hamilton at Hamilton. We got blown out in that game, and it was a long, quiet bus ride back home and a long, quiet time at practice. We had maybe 15 sprints that practice.
Oh, man.
It was a long, long day. And that practice happened at 9 in the morning because we had school off that day for Labor Day.
This is a nice way to spend your holiday.
Oh, it was a fantastic way to spend. You should know how we spend Memorial Day. They do a Murph challenge. It's 2 miles, 300 air squats, 200 push-ups, and 100 pull-ups. And if you are like Kai Wolfolk my sophomore year, doing it with a weighted vest the whole time.
Did you ever make it through those?
I actually did. I went to bed afterwards.
The ball's on the ground. Takes a while to pick it back up. Out to the right side. Still making a solid return out of it. Down the right sideline. Gogol the only one back there to try and get him. They're going to take it all the way. Touchdown Vikings.
I don't know how that can happen for the Comets kickoff team. He muffs the kickoff at the 10 and takes it 90 yards.
I mean, what a game Simpson has had. It goes right through his hands. I mean, that just speaks volumes about the vision and the blocking that Simpson has for him. And as the Comets pull within the one possession, the Vikings don't even put their offense on the field before responding.
I mean, we mentioned it all night. The special teams unit has been phenomenal for Princeton, and they finally capitalize on the misplays that the Comet kickoff team has had tonight.
It'll be an official's timeout.
I mean, that took 20 seconds off the board. On
for the extra point. Kick is up. And it is good. It is 28-14 for the Vikings with just a little over a minute left to go here in the third.
Comets now, they had their golden opportunity. Now they have to take it back. Be Birdsong and Kelling back deep to return.
Vikings will kick it off. Kelling back to return. Takes it out to the 15. Trying to cut it back into the middle. Will be tackled right around the 20. The Comet offense will come back out. Exactly a minute left here in the third quarter. Comets are going to want to start moving.
Yeah, you're going to have to keep moving all night for the rest of the night. I mean, you're down 2 scores, but you still have about 10 minutes closer to 11 minutes left in this game. I mean, this offense has looked decent so far, but mostly in this game because of the mental mistakes by Princeton.
And we look, this has been almost a 45-minute third quarter. I don't know if you're going to see much longer than that.
Not in high school.
1st and 10. Wiggins comes in motion. Birch will keep it himself. A leap over a defender and out to the 30. There's a solid gain there for the Comet quarterback. It makes it 2nd and short.
Do some scores out of Mason. Dakota West up 27-13 on Middletown in the fourth quarter. About 10 minutes remaining there.
Comets moving quick. 2nd down, it'll be a handoff to Birdsong to the left side. Birdsong breaking free, trying to get out towards the sideline area. A flag comes out late.
Be a holding. Should be a holding where the flag occurred, so 10 yards from about the... They're moving the penalty marker to about the 38, so to the 28-yard line. Where that holding should go to. How about Xander Garby, man? Showing so much strength out there on the field after the injury. He had a great pull and a great pull block right there.
And Xander's not a super experienced guy on varsity either. I mean, this is his first year starting. And a guy who... second year getting varsity playing time. A guy who went down with an injury there earlier in this quarter, got himself back in on that right before that touchdown. Birch keeping trying to get some blockers out to the right side, but he's met way in the backfield. Derek Jeffries, number 10, the linebacker, able to get him behind the line. And what we thought we'd really never see, the third quarter comes to an end here at Dwire Field. The Vikings and Comets both get on the board. It's a 28-14 lead for Princeton. We'll send it to a break.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
All right, I'm in the house.
Okay, what do you see?
Nothing yet. Hold on. I think I just heard something. I'm heading upstairs.
Okay, I am almost there.
I'm in the bedroom.
Okay.
Oh, shit. It's not here.
What?
The gun's not here.
What do you mean? Where is it?
Cameron, are you in there? Open the door. Cam! Come on, Cameron.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
Start of the fourth quarter, the Comets find themselves down 2 scores. Birch looking to throw. Still on his feet, and he finally goes down at the 10. A big sack for the Princeton Viking defense. And that's going to make it 4th and 22. The punting unit will come on for the Comets. I mean, what a game for number 21, Gianni Simpson. Coming off almost untouched there on the corner. Birch just trying to find himself out of that pile, but able to just keep on holding the leg with Simpson, and Birch had no choice but to go down. Punt goes away. It's a good one, and it's fumbled. He should be down. He's staying up though as Wells still on his feet. So he muffs it. Looks like his knee wasn't on the ground once he got possession. So they do get the return.
I mean, I think that's what they're talking about right now. Wonder if Coach Castron's asking that same question. Lakota East and Fairfield go final. Lakota East gets a huge bounce back win, 34-7. After Fairfield getting themselves a huge win last week, they go down to the Thunderhawks.
And Lakota East needed that one.
Yeah, they did. I mean, rough last couple weeks for Lakota East.
So first down after the punt return. The snap is over the head, and immediately Jeremiah Neal takes it out to the left side. This is going to be a major loss. The Comets swarm him, and it looks like
that went 20 yards backwards. That went from 39. Sorry, the 41 to the 40.
So a giant loss there on first down. Scoreboard hasn't even updated it with how far that one went back.
2nd and 30. 50. That was a
39.
That was a 20-yard loss.
They got to get all the way to around the Comet 30 to move the sticks.
They've had a rough night. Sometimes on these exchanges, center to quarterback.
Yeah, looks to be a new quarterback in for the Vikings. Play action. He's just going to heave it way down the field, one-on-one, and it's caught. Myrie still on his feet over top of Jason Lewis, past the 20 to the 19.
I mean,
the loss doesn't matter.
I mean, that's the good thing about having a 6'6" tight end ASU commit on your team. When you're tall, when the Comet tallest defensive back being 6'2", and that being Emerson Bikey out to play safety. be a timeout by Princeton. That last play, it looked like it was number 7, David Hambrick, that threw that ball. Known for being a athlete, but not really sure if that's... Never seen him attempt to pass. That was his first attempted pass on the year.
Well, we actually saw Hambrick 2 years ago here at Dwire Field. Put one in the air as a trick play touchdown versus the Comet defense in the victory they had over the Comets that year.
You look back at it, I mean, Myrie, he probably stepped out of bounds a little early, but...
The play action fire over the middle, caught, touchdown. Zion Neal.
I mean, that an accurate strike there by Hambrick. I mean, and this game has gone completely out of the Comets' way.
Nice play action. Neal decides to make the switch from quarterback to receiver. And very quickly, he shows that multi-position impact that he can make. And this one, steering far away from the Comets. An extra point would make it 35-14. Messer in. Snap, hold, kick is through. It is 35-14 here with just about 10 minutes, 30 seconds left to go here in the fourth.
This one starting to get out of hand for the Comets. 3 plays, 41 yards, a minute 26 off the clock on the scoring drive. I mean, this one, Daniel, this game's starting to feel like how the Lakota West game went. The Comets had momentum in the first half. They had a 1 possession deficit, 14-7. They score, making it even, and then they lose all hope and all control, and then it goes out of hand.
Yeah, and then some of those garbage time points will kind of pile up. And
it's still possible. You're only down by 3 possessions with 9:30 remaining. Your offense has to come out here and score, and then you have to get great defensive stops. I mean, you have to be in 4-down territory pretty much the rest of this game if you want to get back into this one.
Messer will come out for the kickoff. The Comets looking for anything offensively. As the kick is away, Kelling will take it out of his end zone once more, trying to fade it left. Still on his feet, breaks a couple of tackles, still charging forward. And he's down to around the 27 is where it looks like. Comet offense and D'Angelo Birch will come out once again here, just about 9:21 left to go here in this one.
And what do you think the Comets come out here with? A first play pass, or you giving the ball to Birdsong, or keeping it with Birch?
We've seen the Comets take some shots tonight. It's been some ones to Chris Hubbard, and you know there was one last quarter where it bounces right off of his hands, but you wonder if they try and go back to that. Haven't seen a lot of Torian Wiggins here in the second, but Birch alone. He will look to throw, has some time underneath, and it's dropped. And a late hit on Torian Wiggins. Doesn't look like no flag.
Yeah, that one a little bit late, but Good no call. I feel like a good no call there by the ref. I mean, that is very. Actually, no, that is very, very late. He took the ball was incomplete, and then he took like 3 or 4 steps and hit Wiggins. Potentially a missed call, but see how it impacts the rest of this game.
Birch looking left. He will fire for Chris Hubbard.
Incomplete again. I mean, hit him right in the hands.
Hello?
And you wonder with on the flags at the refs.
Hello?
And with what transpired in the third, you wonder if the message might just be kind of get out of here with it being a 21-point game. Chances aren't in the Comets' favor of coming back. We'll see 3rd down and 10. Birch looking to throw once more, setting up the screen to Birdsong. He does get it, gets a couple of blockers, now moves out past the 45. He gets the first down near midfield. Trevor, the screen passes as Birdsong helps up a Princeton defender. The screen passes have been one of the bright spots for the Comets this year.
Watch that block by number 77, Lennon Aguilar. That sets up the whole play. He pretty much jumps at a Princeton defender, and gets a great block.
Birch flushed out right, breaks a sack. He takes it down. He's going to run it himself. Does get past the line of scrimmage. It's a nice play to get something from D'Angelo Birch there after he rolls out.
I mean, the Comets' offensive line not really doing well here in this second half, not as well as they've been playing most of the year, giving Birch at least some time in the pocket.
About 8 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. Comets have the ball around midfield. Birch, play action, has time, fires over the middle. It's caught by Birdsong. Birdsong past the 40. There's a first down. The Comet offense starting to move a bit here in the fourth.
That was a pitch right to Birdsong. Myrie had a free run at Birch, and he stopped and then continued going, and Birch able to sense it and step up in the pocket and then able to get the pitch off to Birdsong.
It's a first down in Princeton territory. Birch keeps it towards the right side. Nice tackle. Jeffries able to make a nice stop there on the side. Gets Birch down. That makes it 2nd and 10.
And they had a free run again. No one blocking him on the back side.
And we'll kind of talk more once the game starts to really get down to an end. But the Comets are going to have a big test next week as well. And they take on Middletown. That pass incomplete. Comets looking for number 85. Aiden Sheehan, who had a reception versus Oak Hills a couple of weeks ago. And kind of a busted play from Birch. Kind of in that tight end spot alongside Tristan Newhouse. Birch with time, gonna fire deep down the sideline, looking for Wiggins, and incomplete. He was being chased by a couple Princeton defenders.
Roughing the passer. Roughing the passer on Princeton.
Flag does come out.
Oh yeah, that was way late. You see towards that very beginning part of that clip, he was leveled after you threw that ball. Leveled.
Now the Viking 24-yard line. First down, 10 Mason.
I mean, you look at it, he throws it, and then driven down, full force into him.
First and 10 for Birch in these Comets. He looks to throw once again. He's going to fire for the end zone. Looking incomplete. A flag comes out. He was looking for Wiggins. And the Comets starting to just really let these deep shots go. See what the flag is.
Maybe a hold. No penalty.
It's clean defense from the Vikings.
It has been a lot cleaner here in this fourth quarter for the Vikings.
Handed off to Birdsong. Reversing up the middle around the 21. Noble James in there. One of the guys on the tackle.
It's 3rd and 7, 6 minutes remaining in the game.
Two receivers out left for Birch. One out right. It's Alex Brown in the backfield with D'Lo. It's Hubbard at the bottom. Wiggins in the slot. Birch looking right immediately. It's caught by Birdsong, and he will get the first down.
He's behind.
It's close.
They go 4th down.
He ran into the sticks.
I'm pretty sure he caught that one before, and then he goes backwards. He's maybe about a yard short. It's probably a good call there. You can see the catch, step, throw, caught about the 25. Goes out of bounds. That's where they mark it.
Handed off. Birdsong up the middle. He gets the first down.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He didn't get the first down right there, but he gets it right now on that one.
So the Comets, they have a chance to just end on something to go into Middletown next week. There is still time, so this game isn't completely over. But just getting into the end zone, leaving your offense on a good note. Birch looking to throw a one-on-one shot in the end zone for Hubbard, incompletes.
A little too high.
Just a little over the hands of the 6'2 receiver.
He's had a rough going here tonight.
Yeah, Wells in there on coverage.
I mean, he looks a little shaken up now. A little limpy back to the line of scrimmage. Final for Oak Hills and Sycamore. Colerain and Sycamore. 34-24. Colerain gets their first win in over 2 seasons.
It's got to feel good for the Cardinals. Birch, play action, able to fake out a defender, fires, end zone, intercepted. The Vikings are able to pick it off in the end zone.
Well, it's caught at the 1.
Derek Jeffries, number 10 in there on the interception. He just reads Birch's eyes. It looks like he might have been looking for Tristan Newhouse. Instead, Jeffries is right there. We'll see where they spot him. It looks like it is going to be a touchback.
And fans slowly pouring out of Dwire. That pretty much couldn't nail the coffin for the Comets tonight.
So first and 10 for the Vikings. Play action, rolling out right, and the Comets are there. Josiah Killens, number 7, was one of the first to meet Hamrick with the ball behind the line.
Alex Brown was in there immediately, and man, he's been everywhere tonight.
So still 4 minutes, 25 left to go here in the fourth, so the Vikings can keep adding. The Comet defense will try and make a stand. Timeout will be called.
Princeton Burns.
And we're going to send us to a quick break. Stay tuned as we come back out of the timeout here on ICRC.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
And we welcome you back outside of the timeout. The Vikings have second down and about 11. So just around 4 minutes left to go here. A receiver on both sides now motions Neal over into the slot. High snap, it gets away from the Vikings once again. He's able to pick it up. Emerson Bikey in pursuit, and he'll just run out of bounds. And ever since 7 is checked in for the Vikings, there's been a couple of snapping issues. Some that we didn't see when Zion Neal was taking the snaps to start out this one. So third down for the Vikings. 3rd and 11 at the 19 is what they'll spot it.
Another bad snap.
Miscommunication on the play. We'll just try and take it up the middle. Still pushing forward. We'll get closer to the first down. So an injured player down on the field. It makes it 4th. The Comets will most likely get this ball back once again.
Go ahead and look as the defense comes out. We need you, if you're interested in broadcasting and volunteering for ICRC on some of their broadcasts, feel free to reach out. Both teams will come back out after the injury. It will be 4th down. Princeton in punt formation. It's only their 4th punt of the day. They get it away. Kelling looking to return. Calls for the fair catch at the 40. A flag does come down. And
And just once more, if you're interested in broadcasting, you can volunteer and take a role in the TV coverage for ICRC high school sports, local concerts, community events, and more. No experience needed prior. If you are interested, you can contact Dean at ICRC.com or ICRCTV.com or scan the QR code on the screen. So I want to give another quick shout out to ICRC for doing this broadcast for us tonight.
Birch done for the evening.
Alex Noggle, who's had a little bit of running back work today, did come into the season as a backup quarterback. He'll hand it off to Birdsong. Birdsong breaking through up the middle to the 50. He gets the first down. There's a nice carry for the Comet junior running back. It moves the chains.
It's the longest run of the night for the Comets. Birdsong, he's had himself a great year, adding to his what could be a potential GMC Team of the Year nomination for the junior running back.
First and 10 after the run from Birdsong. Noggle will hand it off to Cannon McBarry. He gains a couple there on first down. He'll make it second and about 7.
Yeah, McBarry has been very, very, very vocal tonight on the kickoff team. He was the most vocal one and was almost the one to chase down the kick return touchdown.
We've seen a little bit of McBarry this season, getting a couple handoffs in each game. Is a senior running back. That's now 2nd and 8 is what they'll spot it for Noggle. We'll see if he puts the ball in the air. He'll take it himself, reversing back up towards the middle, runs into the pile, and still on his feet. He was trying to find his way out before he's finally taken down. Nate Kennedy, number 2, one of the guys in there for Princeton. And Noggle, we've seen some of the grit almost similar to D'Lo Birch in the way if he's not going down easily. And you got to think, being the quarterback who is likely, depending on whether next year it's him or Alex Silly who takes over, having Birch as that kind of mentor can do a lot for a young quarterback.
Yeah, and I think it will end up going to Noggle, and because Silly's had himself a great year. There goes Cannon McBarry.
Cannon McBarry breaks through the middle, and the Comets will get into the end zone. The first touchdown for Cannon McBarry at the varsity level, and the Comets make it a 20-point night offensively.
He split through the Princeton defense, and a great blocking by the interior lineman, and he was all the way gone, scot-free.
And Cannon being swarmed with love.
That was Darren Knott and DJ Hill.
Trevor, we're seniors, so we know these guys. We played football with almost all of those guys. We know that's a great teammate relationship with those guys, seeing them being able to get into the end zone. Extra point from Gogol is up and good, 35-21 with 1:40 left to go. But a play like that's got to feel great for Cannon.
Yeah, absolutely, and I feel nothing but love for these seniors here on this field. I've been playing with them for a long time, known them for a long time. Obviously, both of us playing youth football, growing up with these guys, growing up with them, and going through the grades, going through all those youth practices. You remember the box drill and all that. Oklahoma drills back then, and just going through with all these guys, and that touchdown, and to see how he is surrounded by the seniors celebrating with him on his first career varsity touchdown, that must feel great for McBarry and the rest of this team. Obviously, not in the way you would want it. You would want that as like a winning touchdown. But still something to...
Finding the end zone's got to feel good.
Yeah, finding the end zone regardless feels good. Now...
Gogol and the special teams unit will come back out. You wonder if they try some sort of a different kickoff. I mean, not just because, you know, you're down, you would like to get the ball back, but, I mean, Trevor, this Princeton return team has been one of the biggest reasons why Princeton has this lead.
Obviously, with the touchdown and great starting field position.
And an onside kick is what the Comets look to do. They try to get on that very quickly, but a penalty does come out.
Be a legal procedure.
Yeah, I mean, a little too quick.
Yeah, not really. I don't know which game it was. I'm pretty sure it was the East game where East tried to do that multiple times, and that one was actually they were actually allowed to do that. Now they brought on their hands team. Now you just kick the ball deep because they brought on their hands team. And tomorrow morning, obviously, the film session and all that with the varsity players, JV, they have their game. That game will be home here against Princeton.
And they'll go up to it quickly. It goes past. It gets off of a Princeton defender. The Comets say they have it.
I think they did.
I think the Comets came up with it. Refs coming in trying to figure
I think
who
Max
it is,
Gogol picked
and it's
it up.
going to be Princeton football.
Wow. That was real close, but
we'll see. It goes off of the hands of 46, it looks like. So Princeton likely to just take this one all the way down. Just a minute 37 left. The Comets do have all three of their timeouts.
I think they're just going to need this clock out.
It would take a miracle to put up 14 in under 2 minutes.
Yeah, they're going to set up the victory formation.
They take the knee as Zion Neal. It looks like the Comets may have used with their timeout. Mason does. Castor and this Comet team, they don't want this game over. They're saying, you're not going to need this ball on us.
I mean, they still had all three of their timeouts, so, I mean, now it's 2nd and 12. They do it again. It's 3rd and 12 again. Well, sorry, it would be 3rd and 14. Then 4th and 16, they have to punt and then possibly get the Comets the ball back with only a minute and like 25 remaining on the clock.
Another score update. Lakota West defeats Middletown 27-13. So Middletown, who came in today with sole possession of the GMC, now drops to 4-1, and Princeton likely taking the rest of this one. A win will give them the sole rights of the Greater Miami Conference heading into Week 7. As Oak Hills a 42-32 win over Hamilton. You talk about an offensive game. They're going to fire this one way down the field for Myrie. And he comes up with it on Darren Knotts. Kelling is screaming for a flag.
Yeah, that's OPI 100% of the time. I mean, he threw Knotts down on that one. Watch him extend the hand there. Ooh, maybe. I mean, that's borderline. That's a borderline PI call. And Myrie. Yeah. Definitely a borderline one, but I mean, if you're a Comet fan, I guess you'll take it, but throwing a deep shot like that while you're up by 2 scores, a minute 24 remaining, a little disrespectful.
So maybe a response in the timeout call.
Well, that's 15 yards from the spot of the. Wow, okay.
In the strong eye. Almost fumbled the snap. There'd just be a handoff through that B gap on the left side. He'll be tackled down, whistle still going. And the Comets burn their second timeout. Both teams meeting in the huddle after the timeout. Just a minute 15. The Comets could have a chance to get the ball back. Just with the start of the 10 o'clock frame, officially a 3-hour game.
And I'm pretty sure a third of that came in the third quarter. That third quarter was the longest third quarter.
Almost an hour. Be another handoff. And he won't get close to the first down. Was Wells on the handoff.
Call their Comets on the third and final. And some of the Princeton players are not happy about that one. Neil, especially walking towards the sideline. Like, are y'all really? I mean, you guys are down by 2 touchdowns with a minute left. He's not happy that they're taking their timeouts, but again, any means necessary to win a game.
It does make it 4th down. So the Comets will get the ball. Doing it. The punt unit is on for the Vikings. This will be Messer on once again today. Kelling back to receive. Another whistle. Punts away. Takes a bit of a Comet bounce out to the 40. Comet offense back on. D'Angelo Birch back in for the Comets, and he's going to get taken down. A flag is out.
It's probably a holding. Another penalty. That's the 30th penalty of the night. Looks like it was a penalty on Princeton. Hands to the face for Princeton, so that would be a Comet first down with 52 seconds remaining.
I mean, Trevor, if you score here, this game isn't over.
No, not at all. I wonder what's going on over here.
I think maybe every fan in the stands would like this game to be over.
The Black Hole has been lined up to do the Alma Mater and Fight song for maybe about 10 minutes now. And I think they went out there once the second down commenced for Princeton.
And the other Comets, we saw Birch drop back. I mean, you can tell they're trying to fire something up. Alex Silly is there at wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. Chris Hubbard at the top. They're just trying to get that size. Birch looking. He'll flip it right side. Hubbard. Incomplete. Comets line up. Birch looking to throw once more. Pressure coming, and he goes down once again.
He ran into his tackle and fell down trying to run. But that should pretty much end it here for this game. I mean, 15 ticks remaining. I doubt you line up here and throw one.
Comets will head out. They might try and just do one more play.
Yeah, Birch pretty much told them, no, I'm not running another play.
Yeah.
And that's going to end it.
And after all's done, this game comes to an end here on the Mason homecoming game. The Vikings with a 35-21 win here at Dwire Field. I've been Daniel Panetti, joined alongside Trevor Rose. So we want to give another quick shout out to ICRC for covering this game with us. The Comets go down